Hi everybody, Lori Duff here from the Cowgirl Channel of Canada. I am here in Alberta this weekend. It is October 2022 and I'm having a great time here. I'm doing a clinic and we're set up here in Alberta, and I happened upon meeting this young lady who I was introduced to through a friend of mine who happens to be a family friend of hers. This is Maggie Lyons from Windsor, Ontario. I'm so happy that you had the opportunity to come out and meet with me. We're able to do the show with me. I'm so excited to hear a little bit more about your story and about you. Please tell us a little bit about where you came from, where you grew up, and about your family, of course.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. The cowgirl life is new to me. Definitely grew up a city kid. Happily grew up a city kid, like loved my life. I have amazing parents, really awesome sister. Came from a very hardworking family.
So it's yourself and your sister?
Yeah. My sister, she actually lives in Ireland. She's in med school. So yeah, Brendan and I get to go there. She's graduating this year, which we're all really excited about.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so we live very different lives. I come from amazing family. Grew up in Windsor, Ontario. Was born in Markham and then moved down to Windsor. We grew up doing lots and lots of sports when we were younger, primarily soccer. I thought soccer was the end-all be-all. Definitely wanted to pursue.
Team sport.
Absolutely, all of it, like basketball, swimming. Grew up in that realm. Horses were always in it a little bit, like started horses when I was younger, probably around 8 or 9, just as like a hobby. I don't come from like a horse family, as in my mom and dad, but my grandparents on both sides have had like lots of experience with horses and stuff like that. Just my parents, we didn't like live on a ranch or anything like that.
Right. But you had horses in your life in some form.
Yeah. My parents bought me my wonderful first horse ever, Rocky, and so I had him until he passed away. And then I kind of got out of horses when I was probably 12, and then decided to just go like to the path for soccer.
Competitively.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Wow. So that's interesting though. So like you've always been actively involved as like someone that's an athlete, a sport, something like that. So it's not new or familiar for it to be competitive.
Absolutely.
Right? So that, when you start off and you're in competitive sports like that, it kind of gives you a different aspect. You're traveling, right? Just the traveling alone and doing different things like that. So as you and it's so interesting, and I'm so happy to hear that you're really close to your family. And your family's very supportive of everything that you do. That's so cool. Tell us a little bit about something that happened kind of in your life that maybe sent you on not a different path, but it was a struggle or a wall or something that happened that was challenging for you in regards to what you were doing in your life, and you kind of can look back and now reflect on it and say, wow, that was a pretty challenging part of my life, but I'm so glad that I had it because it made me really appreciate what I have now.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. When I was 15, I had an accident, and that changed the projection of where I thought my life was going. I had it all planned out. I thought I was going to have a career in soccer, I was going to go to school, like do all that stuff. Worked extremely hard at doing that, and then I had to kind of cold turkey stop it. Went back to it a little bit, but kind of left it. But it opened up a beautiful opportunity that I never would have been able to do. I got to travel the world. I got to backpack with my mom. I got to I got to live in Spain. I got to live in Australia. I got to live in New Zealand. I had experiences I never would have had because I was
never had
absolutely because I was so focused on one goal, and I never would have had those other experiences.
Do you think that struggle that you had at that early age, do you think that would you say that you're grateful that you had it at that point in your life and not like now, like that you can look back and say, wow, I feel so lucky and blessed about what I have now because I went through that, like I dodged a situation that could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely. Like you always think the world's like falling when you're in it. So like at 15, I was like, my life's over. But oh my goodness, like the people that I had to support me through the hard times and the good times and the like different experiences that I got to have, like that definitely built part of me to who I am today.
Awesome. And so where you are today, what you're doing, tell us, because I'm so excited to hear a little bit about this. Because so our mutual friend, my friend, and your family friend, Brad, gave me a little tiny intro, but he's like, you got to meet this girl. She's fantastic, and you got to hear her story and what she's doing now, because you've done so much in such a short period of time. And that was one of the things that kind of intrigued me to have you on the show, is that you just were like, you got in it and got busy doing the job that you're doing today. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing today.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Brad, so Brendan is my boyfriend. Brendan's my partner, and so Brad is his dad, and Jennifer's his beautiful mom. So they're amazing. Like, since day one, treated me like family. They're just absolutely fantastic. June 7th, 2020, because we were just looking at the video. I swung a rope for the first time, and I was not natural at it.
But you were hooked.
Hooked because I was not natural. And I was like, I don't get it. I can't do this. Like, there's so many moving parts. There's the calf, there's the horse, there's your arm, there's all of it together. There's like it was not easy right off the start. So I'm like, ooh, I want to do this. I want to try it. I want to see if I can do it. Like, and it was Brendan's world, and I wanted to find a way to become a part of it as well. And because like I would watch him go team rope, and then I'd just be sitting on the sidelines, and I'm very much not a sideline person. Like, and I am very competitive, like, to a fault. So I'm like, okay, I gotta try it. And so we were.
Now you are competing.
I am, yes.
And having some real success.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was blessed right off the get-go. I had amazing coaches that gave me a great foundation. So Jason and Stacey Thompson. Brendan was working for Jason as a farrier at the time. And like, Stacey and Jason helped me every single day. And like, I just for one winter season, like, got a solid foundation. And it was incredible from there. Danny Beachy did amazing things for beginner ropers. So it was a very welcoming community. I roped for RAO in Ontario, which was fantastic, because just great people. And then when we moved here in March, I became a part of CGRA, which is Canadian Girls Rodeo Association.
Beautiful.
And then, which is amazing. And the women are fantastic. They're badasses. They're hardworking. They're motivational. They're honest. Supportive. They're kind. They're kind. Like, coming from a world that you know nothing, like walking into a world that you know nothing about. Like, it's just...
And then they're just like, come on, we'll help you.
Absolutely. The first night I slept over, I was by myself, and I had Diesel, my horse, tied up to the trailer, and it started to rain, and I'm like, what do I do? Do I bring him in? Do I bring him out? Like, I don't know what to do. And these women were just like, oh, we got you, don't worry, like, we'll help you. Just amazing.
Unbelievable.
Amazing. And then, I also got to rope an FCA, so Foothills Cowboy Association, which was absolutely amazing. And I did my my first season goal. I wanted to win a buckle on my rookie season, and I got to do it, which was pretty cool.
Congratulations. That's awesome. I love that.
It was really cool.
And you're so excited about that genuine first win, that first high. And that's kind of cool, because I can see that in your energy and your character, and that part of how you feel like that is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Hang on to it. Hang on to that feeling, because we want more people to feel that way and go for it that way, innocently. And it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting, and we're supposed to help each other out.
Absolutely.
So as you're doing this and as you're getting involved in it now, tell us a little bit about what it looks like for you, for the steps that you're going to take to get towards your goal. You can start with telling us about your dream goal, like the finish of what you want to see your career finish like, or look like where you see your future going, and then what's some of the parts and components that you're going to have to put in to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. So right off the hop, honestly, it's someone had recently asked me what's my favorite quote, and something my dad has always told me is, I'm not going to be able to think about it.
That's okay. It'll come to you.
It's hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. And so I've always thought that's such an amazing quote, because you can see it from both sides. So, okay, if I'm the talented one, there's going to be hundreds of girls trying to get to where I'm at. So how hard do I have to work to stay here or to move even higher up? And then if you're on the other side, okay, if I need to work hard, how hard do I have to work in order to get to where these talented girls are? So that's kind of how I've always looked at things. That does not apply here at all. At all, because these girls, they work hard and they are talented. They're all working hard, and they're all trying to get to the top, but they're helping people along the way.
And when you say all, like you're talking about
breakaway
in general,
specifically,
all,
yes.
all the breakaway, the sport, and that kind of branches off into
Absolutely.
a little bit more of like the generic of if someone's watching this and doesn't really understand, like rodeo.
Absolutely.
Right, rodeo work.
Absolutely.
And the rodeo, I feel, and I really believe it's such a important, it's a pillar of the whole existence of the equine industry, because without rodeo, there wouldn't be much fun, right?
Absolutely.
So there's that, and we want people to understand a little bit about that. So tell us a little bit about breakaway and explain the sport a little bit to us.
So breakaway, you have a rope that's tied to your horn by like a string, and then you leave the box and you go and you rope your calf, and then the string breaks off from your horn,
right.
and then that's when the time stops. So you
right.
have like a flag on the end of your rope, and so that's breakaway roping. So it's basically the fastest and most consistent depending on like how you're roping.
Yep.
So for like to start, you have to learn how to swing a rope, but then you have to learn how to ride, then
right.
you have to learn how to do both.
Right.
And then you have to learn cattle.
So just to take a little step back there, the learning how to ride, what type of horse is really good for breakaway roping?
So because I am new and I don't come from this side of the world, I'm still learning as I go.
Okay.
So the horse that I have now,
yep.
funny enough, was Brad's horse.
They were
and
obviously
he was so kind to him,
yeah.
but there just wasn't a connection. And then I came along and I'm like,
just
I love you
wondering,
forever.
as you say that, I'm thinking there's some things that kind of have come up over the course of the last 4 or 5 or 6 weeks that really has brought my attention to the fact that women do handle horses a little bit differently.
Very differently.
And I think that's a relevant point. But I have met some really great horsemen that are out there that handle horses better than some women too. So I got to give that credit out there for those men. But as you're talking about the sport, you talk about breakaway, and we're talking about those horses, those quarter horses,
yeah.
and everything else. The group and the camaraderie that you have with the girls, with the association stuff. Where did that start from?
Sorry.
Where did you get in contact with those girls? Like, how did you meet? How did you get involved? How did you get to a point where you were competitive?
Absolutely. Well, funny enough, when we first moved here, I was a little bit embarrassed about this at the beginning, but I went to the pro website and I looked at all the girls that are breakaway roping. And I Instagrammed every single one of them. And I was like, hi, I'm Maggie. I'm new. I want to learn. Please help me.
Love it.
And I was like, do you do lessons? Do you know where to like rope?
Can I please have some help?
Right. Well, it was just kind of like, I love what you're doing. I want to be like you. Like, I want to work as hard as you. I want to be as handy as you. I want to be as kind as you. Like, it's not just about the physical roping.
Right.
It's I loved what they stood for and like who they are, and that's what I'm trying to become is more of a well-rounded, handy person in the Western world, which is and then like roping's all part of it, but it's the community that really does it.
Yeah, and I think that's in general, and like all the different people I've met throughout all of my travels, not just even with the Cowgirl Channel of Canada, but some of the women that I've met have been fantastic. I'm so appreciative of their time on the show as yours. But one of the biggest things that I've found in all that is that everybody wants to help each other out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that support and that energy that you get from that community and learning about the Western way of living and roping and rodeo and all that stuff. Has anything fun really happened that's interesting that you want to share with the audience about, like maybe something that you did that you're like your first time ever experiencing, you're like, couldn't really see that one coming?
Absolutely. So my first jackpot here, I was like super hot, ready to go. I've been working my butt off. So Brendan and I, we rope every night. Yep. We rope every single night together. That's what we do. We rope 2 hours a night every night. And like that is what we do. So I was feeling confident in my ability. My horse was ready. Like I was like, rah, rah, I'm going to go get it.
Yep.
I went out to my first jackpot. I hauled 3 hours, my first time hauling alone, north. And I went out. There was 4 of us, and 3 of them were pro ropers. And mind you, this is my first time roping out here. I roped last year, but that's it. Like this is like my rookie, my rookie rodeo
moments,
year.
your rookie moments.
Yeah. So I go out. And my first 2 runs, I rope myself. I blow my spoke, and I completely rope myself. And that's it. I was like, oh, that's it. I'm done. I was like, this is the most embarrassing moment of my life. I was like, these girls that I've messaged, that I look up to, they've all just seen me rope myself. And you want to know the best part out of that day? They all came up to me and were like, we've done that 30 times. Or I've done that. Or, hey, you know what? My first time ever, I like fell on my face. Yeah. And all were so kind.
Yes.
And they were like, here, try this next time, try that next time, let me help you over here.
Isn't that a beautiful feeling?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, like, and that's the thing that I find in like everything that I'm doing. Like I met last April, I met Vanessa Salisbury, and she's a charity barrel racer, and just love her. And that was one of the things that came up in our interview and that we talked about was that feeling that you get like, hey, it's not a big deal if you're having a situation or you're having a problem, whatever. Can I help you? And it's genuine.
Absolutely.
It's so genuine.
Absolutely.
Like, because I not only want to help you, I want to see you standing alongside of me or next to go, because competition is good when there's more.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And when everyone's working so hard to get to somewhere, it's so satisfying either when you get it or when you see your friend get it.
Absolutely.
Or when you see that person that you don't know that well, but you know they've been working their butt off to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to be happy for them, because one day it'll be you, one day it could be you,
Yeah.
and then you want those people cheering for you too, because you're all, if you're all moving up, it's amazing.
Yeah.
If one of you are just like alone, it's not as fulfilling.
And you've not grown up in that. You've not grown up in that. But so where does that feeling come from for you? Where does that feeling of feeling that kind towards your peers in the industry, where does that feeling come from for you? Is that something that you grew up learning from your family?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How to be a little bit humble about it. And,
oh yeah, like if you met my parents and my sister, and even like Brad and Jen, like how lucky am I to have a family that's so amazing, and then to come into another family that's equally as amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's the people you learn from, and honestly, sports. Like I always grew up doing sports and team sports, so. Like you're only as good as your weakest man. If you have one person on your team that's either something's going on and they like say I had a left back that wasn't really like covering her spot, I'm just not going to sit there and let somebody run by.
Right.
It's like, okay, so move over and help your teammate.
Yeah.
This person drops back, like you work as a unit. Right. And as much as breakaway is like an individual sport, I think especially the women doing all the work to make breakaway what it is today. Yeah. They're all cheering for each other, and they're all trying to elevate each other, because that's how you move.
And we just kind of talked a little tiny bit before we got started today, and I just said to you, so like I'm a fan, I'm a huge fan. Jackie Crawford Hobbs, if you're ever seeing this, sorry, your name over here, but we love you.
I got to see her at the NFR.
She's and she's a superstar.
Oh,
and she's a superstar
amazing.
Mom. She's going around. She's doing all of her work. She's got her kids in tow. She's doing a fantastic job showing young women that you can just do just about anything. And saying that, if you were to say something to a young woman right now about how they could achieve their success in what you've accomplished in such a short period of time, and all the things that you have left that you still want to achieve, what would be something that you would say to inspire some young woman right now sitting watching this saying, hey, you know what, you can do it too? Not what exactly you're doing, but anything. The struggle that you're going to face or whatever it is that you're in, it can get better, it's going to get better. What would you say?
So this is something that we use, that I use to tell myself, and I even like tell my friends that I rope with, is like sometimes we're like, ooh, should we enter that? Like they're gonna kick our asses, but should we still enter? And it's like, what's the worst that can happen? You miss?
Yeah.
Well, what's the worst that can happen if you reach out to somebody and they say no? It's like, okay, so you move on. Like it's you go out. Like I said, I wanted to start the season. I wanted to rope every calf. I wanted to win every rodeo. Like rah rah. I went out. I missed like at my first 6 rodeos. Like didn't even hit the calf. Like I didn't grab. Like I didn't catch eyes. I didn't catch a leg. I just missed my calf. And I was like, oh, okay, so that sucks. Yeah. So what do I have to do? I have to go home
and do more homework.
Rope for 2.5 hours, go get another lesson. So I'm currently roping at Griffiths Arena, and Christine and Oren are absolutely amazing. And like, what do? I call Oren. I call Christine. Hey, what do I do? Like, how do I get better? Well, you need miles. You need hours. You need experiences.
I love that. Like, you need to put the time in.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what your advice would be.
Absolutely.
Stay at it.
Put the time in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Put the time in, and what's the worst that can happen? You miss.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
Best
You
that
don't.
Can happen?
Oh, absolutely. You succeed more than you ever could.
Yeah.
And you do it with the lovely people around you.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, even more important than actually succeeding is the people around you.
Yeah. And that's a great feeling, eh?
Amazing.
So you're in it.
Yeah.
And so what would be something that you would say is the highlight of not just the year that you've had and all the things that you're doing and the future that you have for yourself? What's a highlight, a personal goal that you've definitely achieved in all of what you're doing?
Well, Brendan and I moving to Alberta, we had 3 goals. I wanted to learn how to rodeo, win a buckle. That was my goal. Brendan's was he wants to learn how to cowboy, like for a living.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to buy a house. And so we moved here. I won my first buckle. Brendan was there. Brendan's learning how to cowboy every single day with beautiful people. I was there. Like, we were there for each other. And then we just bought our first house last week.
Beautiful.
Like,
I
it's just,
love it.
we're just,
Congratulations.
thank you. We have amazing friends, amazing family. We're lucky and we're blessed.
And tell us a little bit about that dream goal that you're after, you're chasing. What is that you're chasing?
One day I would absolutely love to compete at the pro level. I would love to rope with the girls that I messaged. Right, saying like, hey, can you help me? I know nothing. I would love to rock up one day. And don't get me wrong, I've roped with them this season and they're beautiful and amazing and kicked my butt, as they should.
Right.
I cannot wait to put in the time and put in the effort and be able to actually compete with them and rope beside them.
And maybe turn around and someone that's sitting there looking at you say, hey, I want to be just like her.
One day, I hope that's true, and I hope I'm able.
I know it will be.
I hope I'm able to turn around and be like, let me help you.
Yeah.
Here, come.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, you want to rope with me 3 hours?
I want to come rope with you.
We can start with a half hour. That's how we all started, right?
I love your energy. I love the feeling that you put into what you're doing. You just really living your life and you're enjoying it. How can someone find a little bit more information about you and where to look you up and to contact you if they really do have a question, not just about roping or anything like that.
Oh, life,
just
absolutely.
Just about life. Just to reach out and contact you and maybe network with you and find out who it was that you spoke to that said, yeah, I'll talk to you from that reach out that you did.
Absolutely. So I have Facebook, so Maggie Lyons, just like flat out Facebook. I use Messenger, and then that's all I have currently right now for social media. I deleted my other ones just so I could focus more on what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Facebook, and send me a message, and I'll send my number to anyone, honestly, because so many people have helped me, like blindly helped me too.
Yes.
Like, and so even you, like Brad said one good word, and then look at I get to this amazing opportunity, right? So like you blindly had faith that this would be fun.
Yes.
Like, so it's just, anyone needs any help ever.
Good people.
And if I can't help, I'm sure I know somebody that can.
I love it. I love it. And that's how I feel too about all of it. And thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for spending the time. If anybody's interested in finding out a little bit more about Maggie, please reach out and contact her. All the contact information will be at the end of the interview. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the Cowgirl Channel of Canada, please visit the website at www.cowgirlchannelofcanada.com. We love to have new people on the show. I'm very interested to meet you. If you know somebody or yourself want to be on the show, there's an application and nomination tab right on the website. Send in your information and reach out and contact us today. Thank you so much, Maggie.
Thank
it was
you.
A pleasure to meet
Thank you so much.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what your future holds. And I know something that I need to ask you. Are you going to help me learn a little bit about roping?
Absolutely.
Awesome. I love it. You're fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much. I can't wait. And I really do. I need you to help me. I'm not really good at roping.
I can. Absolutely. I'm like, I'll like regurgitate is what I've learned. That's whenever someone asks for help, I'm like, this person told me this once.
Oh, I love it.
You have to do this because Jason said it, or you have to do this because Stacy said it.
I love it.
Or one time Brad said do this.
We're gonna do some roping. Thank you so much.
Thank
I love it. Fantastic. Lions.
I know it's hard. It's like
Tigers and lions and bears.
Oh my.
Oh my Lord. You're too much.